Folks, welcome back to Loving's Guitar, where I like to talk about guitars and how they move me. Today I've been quite moved by the Danelectro Pro Maroon. That's what they call this. It's Pro and it's maroon. It's very dark. You might say it's almost black, but I put the black shirt on so you could possibly see some of the maroon, all right? So there's sparkle included in this. Folks, this is not going to be a review. It's going to be more of an enthusiastic reach, calling for those who, like me, have this fascination about the Danelectro manufacturing process. If there is, you know what? I think it's all built on design. I don't know if, well, design turned into function because this is a highly functional piece of equipment. It encourages the player, at least, you know what? I don't know if it encourages you. I mean, welcome back again to Loving's Guitar, where I like to talk about guitars. Today, we are featuring the Danelectro Pro Maroon. Now, some might say this is quite dark, right? It is. It has sparkles though. I mean, if you look carefully, you see all the little sparkles in there. It's very pretty. I mean, seriously. I mean, you can get swept away with just the sparkles. Alright, moving on. The Danelectro Pro Maroon. Well, I'm not sure what the Pro is for. I really haven't found any cons, so it's very pro, I should say. But pro, I mean, is it for the pros? You don't have to be making money to enjoy this. You could be an amateur if you want to, or you could be, well, I don't know if you, well, you could be a beginner. You'd be blessed if you had something like this. Seriously. Count your stars, because the night is right if it shows up. Sparkles in the sky, match with the Pro Maroon. What are you gonna do when you get all that Pro Maroon all over you? I know what I tend to do. Welcome back again to Loving's Guitar, where I like to talk about guitars and how they make me feel. Today, we have a new visitor. Well, you're not visiting, you're staying with me. Mind you, I don't usually keep visitors prolonged. You know, there comes a time at which I would normally say it's time for you to go, right? I mean, isn't there someplace else? You have a bed in your home somewhere. Don't you have to go to work? Uh-huh. All right. This entrance into my life, this vehicle on display, the Danelectro Pro Maroon. Now, folks, let's cut to the chase. I don't want to pull any wool over your eyes. Meaning that I come with a lot of bias. Meaning that I'm already a Danelectro fan, see? And with that fandom comes, well, a reason why I would just like melt away for anything Danelectro. But not quite. I mean, it happens all the time. But I do give it a shot to fail. I mean, I'm actually looking for failure points, but I can't find them. Seriously, I mean, I've tried to hate, and it doesn't work out. I fall in love with it more. The Danelectro Pro Maroon. I'm certain there's some specs here somewhere. I mean, you could go on a site, I'm sure, the Danelectro, you go to Reverb, you go to a lot of other sites that would tell you all the specs, all about specs and what they do to make one of these things. All the ingredients, all the secret sauces involved. Well, I have a report. I give it, you know what, I'm gonna give it a rating, but first, maybe if you stick around to the end, I'm gonna sum it all up. But in the beginning right now, I have to tell you from some of the details involved that make this quite special. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, look, it's a Danelectro. I already told you that, but look, again, look, the head. Mm-hmm. Look, it's a different shape. Look, see? How about that? For those who like differences, right? Okay, all right. Well, here's another difference, okay? Look at the nut. See? Can you see the nut? Look, I'm gonna bring it onto this camera over here. Look, maybe this camera will see better. There, see? I'm bringing it over there, so look at the nut. Maybe that camera can't see well. I'm gonna bring it over here. Look at the nut. See? It's made out of, I forgot already. Is it steel or aluminum? Oh my God, you have to check the specs again. All right. Folks, this is a Danelectro Pro Maroon. Maybe they intended this for pros. Okay, all right. But you don't have to be a pro. You don't have to make any money. You could have just spent money just to get one of these things. So it has a different head shape. It has a special nut. If you like special nuts, see? It's special, right? Hey, look at the tuning pegs. Look, see? And they got that vintage thing going on. You know what? I love vintage stuff. Just shut up, it works, it always does, it always has. And you don't have to change anything about it. Perfect. Oh, here's another thing. For those folks, been chasing that Danelectro buzz, right? Why do I even have to have the headphones on? Because okay. Oh no, it puts me in a groove. All right, so what was I talking about? Yeah, you don't have to be a pro. They say this is Pro Maroon, okay. But you don't have to be a pro. In fact, you could just spend money on getting this so that you can have it. And if you're not playing it out live, then you didn't make any money with it. You just spent money to have it. Some people do that. All right. Just go with the flow, right? So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be pro. So why Danelectro calls this the Pro? Like the Pro Maroon? I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. All right, why do they call it the Maroon when it's almost black? But you know what? If you look carefully, it is a little bit maroony, more like on the dark plum, all right? Sometimes you can go to the grocery store, you look at the plums and they all look black. See, the Pro Maroon? All right. So maybe this is a very dark plum. All right. Moving on. For those folks who had thought that the Danelectro tape had gone away for a while, I think it had. It has. I don't know. I'm not. But this brings it all back. This. Have I told you of that? Included into the brown color choice that Danelectro has gifted us. It includes sparkle. It's like, I don't know if you can see the sparkles. It's sparkly. Look. In the back too, it's all full of sparkles. I don't know. It's lovely. Here's another thing, folks. A lot of the Danelectros, they have their pickups, like angled, like the bridge pickup on a Strat and a Tele, it's angled, right? Not this one. This one, it's like it's not a bridge, it's not a neck pickup. It's like kind of like in the middle, right? Look, right? But here's another thing. If you don't know this by now, there's a lot. Well, let's just assume you've never picked up a Danelectro. That's sad. It really is. I'm sorry. It really is. Go find a Danelectro and just put your hand on it. All right. Then come back and give me a report. In the meantime, the bridge is a piece of wood. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure it's hard. It's also pretty sharp, too. It's always had a very funky, chromy, bridge plate. I like it. It's different, Here's another thing too. You'll notice I have yet to see. Oh, maybe have they ever made like a set-in neck? No. Why do they have to? When this works perfectly fine. Here's another thing, folks. If you're looking for those really close gaps filled in, an American-made Fender or something like that. The neck, fits into the body so snug. It's perfect. Not the Danelectro. There's a lot of spaces here. Maybe this camera will see. I don't know. You see that space? There's a lot. You could probably fit a couple of business cards between here. But you know what? It works. It's all finished. Oh, here's another thing. Well, this particular guitar just arrived just a few days ago, and I let it acclimate. And then when I opened it up, and voila, here I am playing it. And I thought I was gonna give you an unboxing, and you know what? I actually did film the unboxing, but unbeknownst to me, the disc in the camera, and the main camera, just was totally corrupt, and I lost all the footage. And then even the camera B and camera C is like, without camera A delivering all the main bananas, all that other footage didn't make any sense either. So I'm doing it all over. So there is no box opening. So now this is the 2 days later after the box opening, and you missed all that excitement that happened live, when I first picked this up for the first time. I could give you a little bit of a recap, though. The first thing that happened was, of course, I took it out of the plastic bubble wrap or whatever. And then I was quickly amazed by how it felt. Anyone who knows my channel will know that, I rated everything by how it feels. But, granted, when I was taking off the bubble wrap, I got to notice, oh, it's a Danelectro. Isn't she pretty? This is one I've never played before. And then when I picked it up, and lo and behold, like most Danelectros, they're lighter than whatever you expect them to be. This one's no different. In fact, I'd say it's even the lightest one I've ever had. Of the ones that I do have. This is my 4th Danelectro. So, long story short, you missed the whole shenanigans of the opening up, but I will tell you that for the last 48 hours now, I have not been able to get my hands over this thing. I just love playing this thing all day long. I'm almost ready to do a string change on this thing. So, the Danelectro has an interesting profile neck. It's very slim, very tapered. No, it's not. Is it tapered? Actually, there is a weirdness shape. It's a little bit more depth here, and then shallower here. But there's definitely a different something going on here. A very easy neck to play on. I would say this could probably be shreddable. Like a shredder could easily shred on this. Here's another thing I wanted to mention too that's quite unique about this guitar. Now, we have 25.5-inch scale for Fender, 24 3/4 for Gibson, but this one here is a 21-inch scale with 19 frets, I believe. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 frets. Wow, this is a whole other ball game you're playing in here. It's beautiful. So it's a different chord. I mean, it's like playing soccer or football in a basketball court. And that would be like fulbito. Yeah. Let's go with it. Wow. Let's try it with the pick. so I've been doing that for like the last couple of hours. And I've been having just a blast doing that. I mean, I feel like I'm like, I'm like doing my own wedding. I'm my own wedding band. At my own wedding. Who am I getting married to? You? You're sweeping my heart away. The Danelectro. I'm gonna eventually have to give you a name. You are just so divine. No, you're not divine. Well, that's a divine. Oh, I don't know. Can you see my divine? Where's my divine? Can you see it back there? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna show. Well, hold on one second. That's the divine. There it is, right there. I love my Danelectro divine. But this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm in a whole other realm, and I like this realm. I could stay here for a while. I did play a few, things with distortion, but I don't know. Let's put a tube screamer on. Here. Let's put a fuzz. Muffle letter. The deluxe big muff. Let's put a clon on. To me, I think you get the most out of the Danelectro without tube screamers or distortions. Although I think with a distortion it's fun because it lends itself to earlier distortion use like a muffletta or electro harmonics, big muffies, cascading type stuff, But even personally, I think this really shines in when you let its natural characteristics come out. Like it's kind of microphonic, the guitar, It's very. I'm gonna shut off the delay. And it's very percussive. I'm gonna drop the pick to it.